need to be able to see you. As long as you're in the second row or back, then I'm good. That first row was kind of iffy.
No, I know. We're allowed to do this sign. Got you. We don't need any. We'll change it. No, thank you, Dan.
Welcome to the Division III National Championship Press Conference featuring the Christopher Newport captains. We'll hear an opening statement from Coach Broderick and follow up with questions from student athletes Sandra Fan and Gabby San Diego. The student athletes will then be dismissed and we'll open up questions for Coach. Please make sure your cell phones are turned on silent. When called upon, please raise your hand high so we can see you, state your name and affiliation. There are wireless microphones on each side of the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before stating your question. For those joining us remotely, please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please unmute your line and state your name and affiliation. Coach, if we could begin with an opening statement.
Yeah. Just want to really thank the NCAA for everything that they've done. Putting on this experience for our young ladies has been awesome. To be one of two teams to represent Division III, here in Dallas in the joint championship for the biggest celebration of women's basketball, we truly feel blessed and honored. Couldn't be more proud of our team, what they've done this year and accomplished, and with all the adversity we've had with injuries and things like that, for us to be in this place, it's pretty amazing, I think, and I'm really proud of these guys. And the best thing about this is getting an extra 2 weeks with this group. So we're excited to be here, and we're going to go out and leave everything we got on the court on Saturday.
At this time, we'll open up questions for student athletes.
Doug Feinberg, the Associated Press. For both of you, what does this mean? You're only the second Division III time they've had a Division III and Division II all together with Division I. So what has this experience meant for you so far, being all part of one giant women's basketball fest?
If we could start with Gabby.
Okay. It's been remarkable. This whole experience has just been incredible ever since we've touched down. Everyone has been awesome. The hospitality here has been amazing. From the hotel to the gyms, everywhere we've been, it's just been super incredible. Everywhere we go, we're seeing signs of the championship, and not just the D1, but seeing the D2 and D3 stuff is very, very special, and it makes us, feel really special, and we're just excited to be here and to compete at this stage with some incredible female athletes.
Sandra was next on that last question that Doug asked.
You got it.
Extremely grateful. I mean, to be part of only the second time this has ever happened. It's something I'll remember forever. Just getting to spend extra time with my teammates, meeting D1 and D2 athletes is absolutely incredible, hearing their story as well. So very excited and very grateful for this experience.
Hi, ladies. Leah Secondo with CBS. Your journey to get here started here, and now you come back here, and some of the adversity that you talked about during the week. As you prepare for Saturday, can you just kind of elaborate on that journey to get here through the adversity?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a very tough season, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. We've had the injury bug all season as well. Unfortunately, I was out for about 5 weeks, missed 8 games, and in the first round of the NCAA tournament, we lost our All-American Anaya Simmons, and then the week after that, losing another senior starter, Katie Rader, was just extremely tough. And that emotionally has been tough for us, but I think, the resilience that we've shown and how much, our sophomores, juniors, freshmen have stepped up in practice and in the games each week has been, just super incredible. And we couldn't be more proud as leaders. And, yeah, I think we've embodied the next woman up kind of mentality and just trying to show up every day and compete and leave, everything we have out there on the court.
Yeah, just proud of the underclassmen and obviously the juniors for stepping up and filling those roles. We did lose Gabby. We had a freshman step up as a starting point guard, and she did absolutely amazing. Just our team is so special because we are all so bought in that if anything happens, there's always the next person there, same energy, same mentality.
We have a question in the back.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeed.com. I know your schedule is probably very busy, but have you had any chance to interact with the other teams from the other divisions, and if so, what was that like?
Yeah, so they had the salute event last night, which was awesome. I don't think we knew that the Division I teams were going to be there, so I was quite surprised seeing Caitlin Clark walk in the building. Definitely kind of took the breath out of my lungs for a second. But, they were awesome. I got a couple pictures in that I was very happy to have. And I definitely, had a fangirl type of moment for a second. But it was cool to be in the same building as them. They're people that we watch on TV and we admire. And, it was just awesome to be in the same room as them. And just from a female athlete standpoint, just cool to see those people at that standard at like 6'5" compared to my height. It was pretty funny, but it was a very cool experience for sure.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Aaliyah Boston, and we were just saying, we were so scared to come up to say hi, and she just reminded us that they're human too, and they enjoyed that interaction with us.
To your left.
Okay.
Hi, Monet Heath, Anscape. Having to face another team that was undefeated this season, is there any other added pressure heading into the championship game? I
don't think so. I think, our coach talks about it a lot. When you get into the tournament, everyone's 0-0. Your record doesn't really matter anymore. And, it's a winner go home kind of mentality. And I think we both, are undefeated, but I don't think that's what's coming across our minds right now. I think we're focused on the next game, which is what we try to keep our focus on. And, we're proud of the season that we've had, but the job's not finished. And, we're looking forward to competing against a really, really good team on Saturday.
Same here. Not really focusing on the records, but the game plan that we have set for this game, and just having a positive mindset and just going out there in our shoot-arounds and our practices to really focus in on what we have and the film that we've been watching and just the scouting report.
Any additional questions for the student athletes?
Rob Silsby, Christopher Newport. Gabby, this one's just for you. Can you just talk about Sandra's commitment to the team and the amount of time you've spent with her over the last 3 years and what her leadership style has meant to this team over the last 3 years while you've been a part of it?
Yeah, for sure. Sandra is probably Sani. I don't call her Sandra. I don't know why I said that, but she's easily one of the most competitive people I've ever met. She's pushed us from day one since I've gotten here. I don't think I've ever shared the court with a shooter like her, but that's not really what I think of when I think about Sani. I think about the leadership, the grit, the resilience that she has. She's our energy, she's our motor, she's our heartbeat. I'd follow her through anything, and I've been super thankful to have played 3 years with her. Wish she could have a 6th year, but they don't do that, unfortunately. But I'm just super thankful to have shared the court with someone as great as Sani. That made me emotional.
We have a question to your left.
JC Christian, ESPN's Landscape. You talked about being focused going into the next game. What can you say is the process of being so focused and locked in into that next game?
Yeah, it's tough. That's the key this week especially. I think it's tough with all of the stuff that we've had going on. It's obviously a remarkable experience, but I think the key is still being locked in on our practices and our shoot-arounds, and especially in the game. I think there's obviously a lot of media stuff and, the salutes and red carpet, which is awesome to experience, but we know that the key for us is still being locked in when we're having film, having practice, and all the other stuff too, like stretching, eating well, getting good sleep. I think, it's a holistic process to be, the most successful that you can be. And I think we do a good job of, setting those standards for our team. But, yeah, it's just trying to stay present and enjoy the moment.
All right. At this time, we'll dismiss the student athlete. Oh, you have another question?
Will Yurt, Wampus Guru. This is for both student athletes. Are there any games that you played during the regular season that you feel has prepared you for the championship game?
We'll start with Sandra.
I think every single game has taught us something different, and every game there's something to learn from, and I think we just have gathered that through all the 31 games that we've played, and yeah, I think every single one has really taught us something and the reason why we're here today.
Yeah, I think the last one, playing Rhode Island, I think we learned a lot from that game for sure. I think in the tournament, you can't really come out flat. That first quarter, that first minute is super important. I think we definitely learned that from that game. A couple of other close games that we've had in the season, playing UC Santa Cruz, where we were down at halftime and having to battle back. I think Tufts was a big one for us too, just playing in an environment like that and showing that we could be resilient through that also. But like Sonny said, I think every game we're trying to play to a standard and not the score. And, we're just trying to get better, 1% better each and every day in every game.
Thank you, ladies. Best of luck.
Thank
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open up for questions for Coach. We'll start with Doug.
Hey, Coach, Doug Feinberg, the AP. A two-part question. I'm guessing you've been to the Final Four before as coach for the convention stuff. Mm-hmm. Did you ever dream, hey, I'd love to have my team playing here someday in this joint thing?
No, I never did. I guess when I first started coaching Division III 11 years ago, this didn't exist, so I didn't really know that it was an option. I knew that our school had a Final Four before, so I think our goal was definitely get to the Final Four. And that's kind of become our goal every year. So the fact that it was here this year, we definitely, I think it put a little bit extra incentive to get in here and to be a part of this. And for me, like you said, from, being in many conventions and Final Fours in the past, I knew a lot of the things that they had here. And I know how our team really takes time to just embrace the moment and really appreciate everything. And I've just been so proud as a coach. They've really taken in everything. They've been very thankful for everything, very appreciative. And so for them to get an opportunity to do that is amazing. I know I'm going to get a chance to coach for years, but they only get 4 years. And so for them to get a chance to do this is pretty special.
And the second half of the question is just, it's not normal for you guys to have like 2 weeks off between Final Four and the championship. I'm sure part of you is like, this is cool because we get to do this, but as a coach is like, I got 2 weeks to keep my team together and figure out how to game plan for the championship game.
Yeah, I will tell you, I said this to a few different people that I think if our season would be kind of where we've been, like a regular season for us, and we're in routine, and I think it would have been a little bit more difficult. I think we would have wanted to keep playing right away and play the next day as soon as we can. But I think this year, the last few weeks have just been just so different with losing so many people that we have had to switch lineups. We've had to switch roles. We've had to change things that we do. So actually having some extra time was pretty nice. We gave them some time to take a break. We also let them have a full week of school, which was pretty good because unfortunately they still have to go to school during the basketball season. So yeah, I think for us, I think it was a good thing. I think we really needed that time. So
Back here to your left.
JC Christian, ESPN's Landscape. Being able to actually just game plan and have to change, your whole game plan due to injuries and all that great stuff and still being undefeated. How do you keep your team humble?
yeah, I think, first of all, you got a chance to listen to two of them. And I think when you've got two young ladies of this quality that lead, that makes my job a lot easier. But I think kind of like they said, we really just focus on the next game, next woman up. I think it's really easy to do the oh me and this person's hurt and whatever. But, we just talk about it's part of sports. People get hurt and someone goes down. It's the next person's opportunity to step up. And we have young players that have taken advantage of it and have probably showed me more than I even knew they were capable of at this point. So yeah, I think just living in the moment, not really talking about records like they said, they know. We talk about it even at halftime. We come out at halftime, hey, score 0-0. Let's go out and start and play. So just really keeping yourself focused, not listening too much to the media or the hype, and also realizing when you're as successful as we are, everybody's going to be coming after you. You always have an X on your back. So when you're undefeated and #1 in the country in both polls, nobody wants to hear about injuries and all those other things. They're just coming for you. And that's okay. We wouldn't want it any other way.
Straight ahead for you, Coach.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeed.com. Even though you've been here before, the conventions, and at this level, this year you have the other divisions with you. Similar to what I asked the students, did you get a chance to interact with the coaches from the other divisions, and what did you guys talk about? Exchange ideas, get any tips, back and forth?
Yeah, before I started working at CNU, all of my prior experience was at Division I level. So Dawn's a good friend and Kenny's a good friend, and I know Kim a little bit, and so we were talking last night. So it was nice to get a chance to catch up with them. I've actually been texting with some of them throughout the process. Kenny and I both, Virginia, and trying to bring this thing home for Virginia, 2 out of the 3. So yeah, it was really nice last night to get a chance, but I think we also realized too that there's just so much going on and so much you have to be focused on. And when you're trying to keep, tabs on a party of 25, it's not too much time for other stuff. So, but it's definitely neat to see everybody and to watch my young ladies last night, taking pictures with other people and some of their idols, was pretty special.
Coach, we're going to take a question to your right.
Coach Leah Secondo, CBS. Sandra has a great story, and certainly a young lady who is a great face to have for your program. Working, academic All-American, will be one of the all-time leaders when she leaves. What has her presence embodied, do you think, and trickled down to your team?
Yeah. The thing, I hit on the same thing that Gabby said was, Sandra is one of the most competitive people I've ever met. It doesn't matter whether we're doing a 3-point shooting contest, a national championship, checkers, first one to the bus. I mean, she is just competitive in everything she does. Her parents, I think, have really instilled that work ethic in her. For her to come in and really she's changed so much over the 5 years. She's grown so much, not just as a player, but as a person. And I think, when you've got your top players, and this goes for Anaya Simmons as well before she got hurt, when you've got your top players also being some of your hardest workers, that just doesn't leave any room for anyone else to slack. And so, they set the tone for us, and I think she's done that. And more than just the records and the scoring and the All-American, I think just that work ethic and what it means to play in our program, she will leave that legacy with us.
And our last question to your left, please.
JC Christian, ESPN Landscape again. You mentioned earlier next woman up. So what player comes to mind when you say next woman up that stepped up the most this season?
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many injuries. We've had to have a few next women up. I think, 3 of them really come to mind. One would be Camille Malagar. She got a chance to play a little bit in our COVID year. We didn't have a COVID season. We played a few exhibition games. So that was her freshman year. Was working really hard. Was probably going to get some playing time as a freshman coming back, and tore ACL before the season started. And so that was devastating. That was hard. We actually canceled practice after that, and I went up to my office and closed the door and cried like a baby for her. I was just so upset because I know how much work she put in. And so for her coming in and kind of learning things, really, listed as a junior, but really kind of a true freshman. She had to step in and run the point for Gabby when she was out. And then when Anaya went out, she had to step into the lineup. And she's just done a great job. She just has just a great attitude, willing to do whatever, and really enjoys the game. So I think she's definitely someone who's stepped up. Hannah Orloff has stepped up big for us. She was getting 10, 15 minutes here and there, and, she had to step in into the lineup when Katie Rader went down. And it's like, okay, by the way, you're going to have to guard Maggie Russell, All-American post player, your first game here. And did a great job and held her. We held her to 18 points, which may sound like a lot, but she was like 8 for 22 from the floor, so I'll take that. So she's really done a great job in stepping up. And then I think Olivia Giles as well. Great athlete, has played really hard and has taken advantage. Had 8 points, 11 rebounds the other night, just plays with a motor. So I think those three have all kind of been forced into action to play kind of double the minutes that they have played. So just really proud of them, and knew that, given the opportunity, it maybe came a year earlier than we thought. But, we talk about if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so I think they were ready, and they've taken advantage of that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Coach, and best of luck to you and the team on Saturday.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
As a reminder, a recording and written transcript of this press conference will be posted in the NCAA Digital Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. The D3 National Championship Press Conference featuring Transylvania will be taking place momentarily. We'll hear an opening statement from Coach Julie Folks and follow with questions from student athletes Madison Kellyan and Dasha Thornton. Again, we'll be beginning momentarily. Welcome to the D3 National Championship Press Conference featuring Transylvania. We will hear an opening statement from Coach and follow with questions from the student athletes. The student athletes will then be dismissed, and then we'll open up the floor for Coach. Please make sure your cell phones are on silent. When called upon, please raise your hand high so we can see you, state your name and affiliation. There are wireless mics on each side of the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before stating your question. For those joining remotely, please use the raise the hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please unmute your line and state your name and affiliation. If we could start by having an opening statement from Coach.
Well, we are super excited to be here. Obviously, playing in the national championship is the culminating moment on the season, and it's been an absolutely awesome ride. We have 2 of our 4 seniors here today. And, you know, this was their goal from the beginning. We had coined the phrase Texas to Texas. We wanted to start the season. We played in Dallas and get those games and end the season in Dallas. So anytime you can have a plan come together, Maddie always says, speak it into existence. So we did, and it's awesome to be sitting here today.
We'll open up with questions for the student athletes. To your right, please.
Leah Secondo with CBS. Ladies, congratulations, first and foremost. You've had an opportunity in the last 24 hours to mingle with the other divisions and really celebrate where you are. Can you elaborate to us what that experience has been like to be able to mingle with the other divisions?
Yeah, it's pretty great. You know, seeing them on TV, watching them on ESPN, it's crazy to be in the same room as them. And just to be able to be with all the other divisions, it just really represents womanhood and celebrates all the amazing things that we're doing on and off the court.
Yeah, it's been super awesome, and we're super grateful to be here. And, I mean, the NCAA has done an awesome job of hosting us, and we're super thankful for everything they've done. And it's been a really great experience.
Our next question for the student athletes.
JC Christian, ESPN's Anscape. Being 2 of the leaders on this team, how do you feel like both of you guys' leadership kind of aid the team to being undefeated this year?
We can start with Madison.
Yeah, I think that we have a really good group of girls, and I think that personally I do better by leading by example, and I think that I set a high standard for everyone on the team, and I uphold them to keep that standard, and they've done really good at stepping it up, and it's led to a really successful season.
I like to lead. I like to lead, you know, with my words. I'm the extrovert of the whole team. So if I encourage everybody to do good, then we do good as a whole.
As a teammate of Madison, to watch Madison take in the Elite 90 award, can you talk about what that means as a teammate? And then Madison, if you would, just talk a little bit about your road as a student athlete and be able to garner that award.
Yeah, I think Maddie puts in a lot of hard work on and off the court. You know, she doesn't sleep, and she gets in trouble a little bit for not sleeping. But we always encourage her to do as much as she can. You know, we walk into practice, and she's already getting shots up. She's always studying for exams and her tests. Like, she's a physics major, and I don't know if you know how hard that is, but it's pretty hard, and we're just proud of her.
It was a great award to have. I didn't know I was getting it, so I was super excited to receive that. And I think it's a really great thing to get to top off my career. I've spent a lot of hours and years getting to where I am, and I put a lot of time into my studies, and to know that I can be successful in both school and on the court is something super rewarding. And I think that my hard work is really paying off, and I'm excited to be here.
Any additional questions for the student athletes?
Hi, Alicia J. with CBS Sports, and We Need to Talk. Deja, I know that you have plans to be president one day.
Yes.
Can you tell me how you are going to get there and when?
Yeah, as soon as I graduate, I'm going to the Peace Corps. That's a 2-year commitment, so they'll send me to a country somewhere around the world. I don't really have a preference because I know a lot of languages, but I'll do that and then somehow work my way up in the State Department, and then I'll run for president in 2036. That's my first year I'll be eligible.
Can you tell me what languages you know, please?
Yes, English, Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian, but they're all on different fluency levels, but Spanish is my second best language.
And when did you decide that you wanted to be president?
Probably around the age of 8. I wanted to be an interpreter, and then somebody was like, no, go bigger. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll just be a diplomat. Like, it's not really too much. And then someone was like, no, you should go bigger. And I was like, okay, President of the United States. And I was like, yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any additional questions for the student athletes? Awesome. Well, thank you very much, ladies, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
I'm staying, all right.
At this time, we'll open up the floor for questions for Coach. Be to your left, Coach.
Hi, Monet Heath, ESPN's Anscape. How did your 4 previous HCAC tournament championship wins as a coach prepare you to lead the team for the big championship game?
Yeah, I think with this group and every team we've had, there's been a high commitment to excellence and trying to learn how to be great in the biggest environment. And so every time you get a chance to compete for one of the championships, we want to do that to the best of our ability and find different ways to win. And I think one of the strengths of this team that they talk about all the time is, we know we're not going to be great every day, and they're going to just, how can we win tonight? And whatever plan that gets to, sometimes it's plan A, sometimes it feels like we're at plan Z. But I think, being able to compete every year builds that experience. And so for this group, they've just now wrapped up their 5th championship and in the conference, and I think that just gave them a lot of confidence. They're used to excelling at a high level and finding ways to be successful every night with whoever's hurt or sick and whatever the circumstances are. They want to find their ability to come out with one more point on the board, and sometimes that's all we have is one more point.
Take that question to your right.
Coach, Alex Sobario, CBS Sports. Coaches like to create an environment of consistency throughout the season, and an environment like this is pretty unique, not playing for 2 weeks. You're playing at a unique time of day at 11 a.m. Central Time. You're getting shots up today here. You're going off-site. How have you approached the week knowing that it's hard to manufacture the consistency that you're used to?
Yeah, I think one of the ways that we do that is actually by being, in some ways, fairly inconsistent. We have coaches coming and going. We have a great staff, but they always can't be there. Our practice schedules are a little bit all over the board. And, we've played a conference game this year at 11 on a Wednesday. And what we're really trying to get them to understand, one of our core pillars is being adaptable. And COVID certainly taught them that. We've had lots of breaks in the last few years where we thought we were going to play, and then we had 2 weeks off. And so really every day we go into practice and our goal is to be as good as we can be that day. And, you know, if this is our normal baseline level, we want that baseline level to be at a level that's high enough to win any game that we're going to go into. And so this past, 10 days, we kind of treated it like one of the holiday breaks. We gave them a couple days off to rest. And then we went pretty hard Wednesday to Friday, gave them a few more days of rest, and then went really hard Monday, Tuesday. And I think they respond well to that. They're used to getting after it on the court. And then, come here and kind of enjoy the fanfare. But their goal is to still come out on top, and they're committed to that.
Follow up. You look like you were kind of focusing just on getting up shots today.
Yeah.
How important is that, knowing because a size of venue and just kind of taking that all in before you start working on game plan and things like that?
Yeah, well, I hope that they feel solid in the game plan coming into today. And so I think, when we got on that court, that's probably the biggest difference. Being able to defend, that's going to be in some ways, the same thing that we've done, and we always rebound. So those things are going to be the same, and thankfully the court and venue size hopefully doesn't affect that. But we are a team that tends to shoot a lot of threes, and I think we average about 30 a game. And so, we want to at least give us, ourselves the best chance to be able to score in some of the ways that we've scored normally. And so, it started a little slow today, but I felt like by the end everybody gained some confidence and felt like they were in a good spot.
Any additional questions for Coach? Seeing none. Thank you so much for your time, Coach, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
As a reminder, a recording and written transcript of this press conference will be posted in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. We'll begin our next press conference at approximately 6 p.m.